Well, my daddy was in the ice business at one time, and mother, she was just a homemaker, I guess. Raised 8 kids.
What number were you? What number were you?
I was the second one.
So you had to probably do a lot for the little kids?
Well, I guess you'd say we just tended to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And when did you meet Jewel? How old were you?
We was, I guess, when we moved to Benner, I guess we met then, we was in school together.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm going to say I've knew her ever since 10 years old, probably.
Yeah. When did you ask her out on a date the first time?
Date? Well, when I got out of service, I was 21, and I guess you'd say we started dating then.
Yeah. You were telling me you worked in the logging woods. Can you tell me about that?
Well, I guess you'd call it the logging woods. I've hauled pulpwood, I've hauled stumps, I've hauled cross ties. Well, when a slab comes out the mill, you had to throw it out there on the burn pile.
Yeah.
And that's work, I'll tell you. I was probably 15, 16 years old.
And was it locally that you did that, or was it?
Yeah, there was a mill there, where the Central Baptist Church is on 96. They had a pretty big mill right there back then.
Yeah.
I worked in tie mills where they cut and made ties.
Mm-hmm.
I've hauled cross ties.
You've done it all.
I've done it all. Anything that wasn't no money in, I've done it all. We lived over yonder on 96. Daddy sold the timber in there for cross ties.
Yeah.
And them old black men, they cut them trees with cross-cut saws and hewed them ties out with broadaxes. I doubt you've ever seen a broadaxe. Well, it had a blade in it about that long. And at night, they took them ties out to the road. You could hear them singing in there all night.
Mm-hmm.
They'd cut them trees and hew them ties and then tow them out on their shoulders at night. Well, when I was hauling pulpwood, we done all that by hand. We loaded it. It was 4 foot long.
Mm-hmm.
Sticks of pulpwood, and you put it on your shoulder and towed it to the truck, and put it on the truck, and then you carried it to a railroad switch, and you unloaded it in box cars. But the big logs, it'd take 2 people wanted to help you get it on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But it was work.
Yeah.
When I went in service, I was hauling pulpwood. It was about 3 days after Christmas, and it was so wet you couldn't get in the woods. And I went to a recruiting office. I got tired of that, went to the recruiting office, and the first desk I come to was the Marines, and I just signed up for the Marines. I spent 15 months in Korea. And when I got my discharge, I went to work in the oil field, roughnecking, and that's where me and her really got together then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bought a service station, was in that for nearly 15 years, and sold it. And then we went in the propane gas business. We was in that 3 or 4 years, I don't remember. But we had our office in the living quarters, and you don't do that because it was day and night. Never, if you're in some kind of business like that, never have your office in your living quarters. In Colorado, yeah, we tended to campground up there for 10 years, 9 years. We were there 9 years. And she had that back surgery, and the doctor wouldn't release her for a year, and we just gave it up.
Mm-hmm.
Would probably still be doing it if she hadn't had that back surgery.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. You meet a lot of good people.
Of your 7 brothers and sisters, what kind of childhood did you have? Was it a pretty happy childhood?
Oh yeah, I would say we did. There was 1 girl and 7 boys, and especially when we lived in Quigley. It was way in the country. The nearest neighbor was probably a half a mile. And that we just had a lot of fun out there, just growing up.
Yeah. What'd y'all enjoy doing together?
What were we doing together?
Yeah.
Well, about everything. And me and the two, my oldest brother and the one next to me, we was about the only one that was big enough, you know. But we pretty well stayed in mud holes, playing, you know, swimming, and Mother never worried about us.
Yeah.
That's one thing she never worried about us. I guess we could swim when we were probably 5 years old.
Did y'all go out to the river very much, or was that too far away?
Back
Not
then.
back then.
Out there wasn't no rivers and nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't have no transportation, you know.
Yeah.
It was rare to see an automobile out there.
Did you have horses that you rode?
Well, they had 2 mules, power mules. We rode them a lot.
Mm-hmm. Is that how you got into town, or did you walk? How'd you go to town?
Well, we didn't go to town.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Yeah.
no, we didn't go to town. There was no grocery store there between Buner and Bessemer. That just an old country store, and they started having bands come in there on a Saturday nights, and several times Daddy would carry us up there to that, you know, to that band. Mm-hmm. And they had ice cream cones. You know, we'd always get us ice cream cones. Mm-hmm. I never will forget that oldest brother of mine. He eat that cone down to that little tip, and he said he was gonna save that and plant it and grow himself.
So did you grow all your own food and everything?
Yeah, oh yeah, you just about had to back then. You know, Dad had a lot of hogs, and everyone, you know, he'd butcher hogs. And then me and my oldest brother, my granddad had a syrup mill, and we'd work in that syrup mill in the fall, you know, when they made syrup. Mm-hmm. And he paid us $1 gallon of syrup a day. Mm-hmm. Worked at that syrup mill. And one thing about it, if you had syrup and flour and lard, you lived pretty good.
That's right. Yeah. Did y'all have gardens?
Oh yeah. We had a pretty big garden out there.
Yeah.
I don't guess you'd call it a garden. Probably a 10-acre farm, you know, and of course we growed everything.
Did you have many neighbors around you?
No. Well, now, see, that road going into Quigley makes a big loop. It cuts off up yonder, way up north of 96, and just makes a big old loop and come back out in Bessemer. Mm-hmm. And back then, I would say there was a half a dozen houses on that whole loop. Mm-hmm. And now it's just solid houses. Mm-hmm. Me and Tommy drove through there the other day, and you wouldn't believe it, the people that lived in there now.
It seems like we have a lot more people around us, but people don't know each other as well as they used to.
No. You don't even know your next door neighbor nowadays. Mm-hmm. But to visit a neighbor, we had a slide. You know what a slide is.
What is that?
Well, it's just a box with skids on it you hook the mule to.
Oh, yeah.
And Mother loaded the little fellas up in that slide and go visit a neighbor. Well, that was an all-day thing. Mm-hmm. You know, you didn't just go for 30 or 40 minutes. It was an all-day thing. Mm-hmm. And there's a little old creek, about like from here to County Road out yonder from the house, and that's where they done their washing at. And I had an aunt that lived, my mother's sister lived, about like from here to County Road from us, and then her mother and daddy lived about a half a mile, mm-hmm. and each one of them had a different day to wash, you know, and that was all day thing. Mm-hmm. You load the clothes and the little fellas up in that slide and go down to the ranks down there, and you wash your clothes, had an old wash pot, and your wash tubs, and then you hang them out and dry them before you went home. You know, all that had to be done before you went home.
Yeah.
And once a year, the three of them would get together and make hominy, and then another time they'd get together and make soap, and it was divided 3 ways, you know.
Yeah.
And that was all day thing, making hominy and making soap. Yeah. And I still love hominy.
So did y'all had good-blooded hogs, right? That you
Oh
raised?
yeah, they was good-blooded dogs.
Yeah. Did you sell those to people, or you just raise them for yourself?
No, Daddy just butchered once a year in the wintertime. And had a smokehouse, you know, and your meat back then stayed in the smokehouse all the time.
How did you keep it good? You just...
Well, now, I've seen Mother a lot of times wash mold off of bacon, you know.
Yeah.
It don't run.
Yeah.
But they got to where they'd take buckets, big old buckets, and when they rented out that lard, they'd put that lard in them buckets and that bacon in there with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you needed lard, you just reach in there and get your lard out. If you wanted bacon, you just reach there and pull it out.
Guess you could do the same thing with sausage, too.
I never did make any sausage.
Yeah.
It was just bacon.
Just bacon?
Yeah, just bacon and lard, hams, you know, you'd smoke your hams.
Mm-hmm. Did y'all have a cow?
Oh yeah, we always had a milk cow.
Was it a Jersey?
Jersey cow. Yeah.
Who had to milk it?
Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't help her. 7 boys, and she had to milk the cow.
Mother had to do the milk. We even had a milk cow when we moved to Buena. Mother sold a lot of milk.
Uh-huh.
That's the only way we had to making a living, really.
Yeah. Y'all made butter and everything?
No, I don't. Now they've made it now to when we lived in Quigley. Yeah, they'd make butter out there.
Yeah.
But after we moved to Buena, she just sell most of that milk.
Yeah.
You know. And my first job I ever had was working in a dairy, $5 a week.
Was working where?
A dairy?
A dairy.
Yeah,
for
working in
$5?
a dairy, $5 a week.
Oh my goodness. So what did you have to do? Milk all those cows and tend to them?
Yeah. Every morning and every night, $5 a week.
So was that, what kind of wages was that compared to today? Was that enough to live on at all, or not really?
No, you probably couldn't live on that, of course. The whole time I worked, what I made went to my mother. Because she really didn't have no income, you know. Daddy, he just, booze and women, I guess you'd say, you know, and I guess he just kind of abandoned us.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd see him occasionally.
Yeah.
Very seldom.
He wasn't around much. Y'all just helped tend to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How old are you now?
How old am I now? 90 years and 7 months.
That's an accomplishment. How old do you feel?
50.
50? Yeah.
You got me in this rocking chair now. I hadn't retired to no rocking chair.
You still have a sawmill that you run.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
You think that keeps you young, working hard?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that if you stay busy, you'll keep going.
That's right.
But when you sit down, that's it.